Here we're talking about estimating square roots. Now, we don't have to estimate square roots of perfect squares. We know those square roots. Like we know the square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 16 is 4, the square root of 25 is 5, and so on, right? All the way up to the square root of 81 is 9, and the square root of 100 is 10. These we've already memorized and we know these. Okay, now, the question is, what if we have something like this, the square root of 83? Okay, so here's what we do. First, we decide which perfect squares is it in between. So I look and I'm like, oh, 83 is in between 81 and 100. 81 and 100, like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the square roots of those perfect squares. So right here, this was 83. Now I'm taking the square root of 83. So what's the square root of 81? Well, that's 9. And what's the square root of 100? Well, that's 10. So 83 is somewhere in between 9 and 10. So all the way already I know it's going to be 9 point something, right? That's the only way that I have a number between 9 and 10 if it's 9 point something. So now is this 83? Is it closer to 81 or closer to 100? Well, it's closer to 81, right? Like 83 is just 2 away from 81 and it's 17 away from 100. So it's actually like way closer to 81. So if I look at my decimal number line here, right? Let's imagine, right? This is from 0 to 1, but let's say this is from 9 to 10. So here, like this is 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5, and so on. So if a number is in between 9 and 10, but it's like way closer to 9, that would be like over here, 0.1. So a good estimate for the square root of 83 is 9.1. Let's do another one. 42. So first I'm going to see which square roots is it in between. It's in between 36 and 49. Now let's go ahead and take the square root, right? This is for 42. I'm taking the square root of 42. So the square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 49 is 7. So I know my numbers between 6 and 7, so I know it's going to be 6 point something. Now, is it closer to 36 or closer to 49? Well, it's kind of in the middle. Let's see, like 42 plus 7 is 49. And let's see, this is 6, right? 36 plus 6 is 42. So it's really like pretty much right in the middle. So if there's a number that's between, let's say this is 6 and 7, if there's a number that's between 6 and 7, but it's really like kind of right in the middle, what would that be? Oh, that would be 6.5. Okay, how about the square root of 24? What's that in between? It's in between 16 and 25. Let's go ahead and take the square roots. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 25 is 5. So this is in between 4 and 5, so it's 4 point something. And what is it closer to? Let's see, 24 is just 1 away from 25, right? It's like 24, 25, it's the next number. And it's 8 away from here. So this number is way closer to 25. So the square root is going to be way closer to 5. So let's say this was a 4 and a 5. What would be a number that's in between 4 and 5, but way closer to 5? Oh, it would be like 0.9, right? So 4.9. That is a number that's almost 5, but not quite 5, which makes sense, right? The square root of 24 is almost the square root of 25, which is 5, but not quite. It's a little bit smaller. All right, you try.